Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Huddle, the Review.com's weekly high school sports show. I'm Rob Toder, joined as always by Mike Brown, and it's week 9 of the high school football season. And let's start, Mike, with the Marlington Dukes, because they can clinch at least a tie for the Northeastern Buckeye Conference Championship with a win against their rival, the West Branch Warriors.
Right, and the Dukes have some added incentive there. I know the Coach Balderson was disappointed they had so many turnovers against West Branch last year, which he felt turned the game. And so I think he's made special emphasis of that this week, that they need to take care of business at home, and they've done a great job of that. I mean, Marlington, we talk about turnovers. Marlington's defense has forced 17 turnovers this year. I mean, that's tremendous. And I would think Marlington's going to be a heavy favorite in this game, Rob, especially with West Branch having its defensive problems stopping the run.
Rain in the forecast, does that change things any?
Maybe a little bit, but I think, these are two high-power offenses. I think, both these offenses are tremendous. You have two of the best quarterbacks around. I mean, Chris Pennell of Marlington and T.J. DeShields of West Branch. And Brett Butcher of West Branch has, 69 pass receptions, has set a record already. He's going for the career record soon. And Marlington's got a bevy of great receivers. They've got Jock Sampson in the backfield, one of the best backs around. There should be a lot of offensive fireworks here. I think the key to this game, Marlington just needs to do what it's been doing all year, and I think it's good to go. For West Branch, it needs to shore up a defense that's giving up, I think, in the high 30s in a game. I mean, West Branch is scoring a lot of points, but they're giving up a lot of points too. So, I think the Warriors are going to have to really hang in there. To hang in this game against Marlington, that high potent offense of Marlington, West Branch is going to have some stops on defense.
Okay. Also in the NBC this week, Alliance travels to Minerva. The Lions still looking for their first win, and Minerva looking to get back on the winning track. Kind of a surprising loss, I think, for both of us last week for the Aviators at Salem, because we thought they were on a roll.
Right. That surprised me when that score came in. But I guess, in a way, I shouldn't be surprised, because Salem has gotten better. That young Salem team's gotten better each game under Ron Johnson, especially in the second half of the year. And the game was at Salem. And, it was just something where I think Alliance had a couple mistakes. Salem took advantage, got those extra possessions, and won the game. So, but I think Alliance and Seth Whiting have done a great job in his first year as coach. And, they'll be a solid favorite Friday night against Minerva. And, again, they need to take care of business.
Okay. Speaking of the Quakers, this is a game that we're kind of looking forward to, only for maybe some not so great reasons, because last year's game between the Quakers and the Louisville Leopards was not going to make any OHSAA sportsmanship real. And that has a potential, and we're hoping that the coaches take care of business and the administrators take care of business as well. But what do you see on the field in that game?
Yeah, it's a strong NBC rivalry, and Louisville needs to win out. They need to win out and get help to get in the playoffs. So everything's right in front of Louisville, what they have to do. For Salem, I think they're improving. They're getting better every week, like we talked about, continued improvement. The game is at Salem, where I think Salem plays very well at home. So it'll be interesting to see. Louisville, I think, would be a favorite in that game, but you never know. When you go on the road in the NBC, you have to be ready to play, or you can get dumped. We've seen that happen numerous times over the last few years.
The fourth game in the NBC this week, Carrollton at Canton South. The Sebring Trojans with a nice win last week, but they face a tough opponent this week in the McDonald Blue Devils.
Right, they've got McDonald. Now, this McDonald team is, I believe, 500 on the year right now, Rob, so that's, by their standards, that's not as good, but I think, like we were talking about Salem, McDonald has improved throughout the season. They're getting better, and I think Sebring's getting, Nate Martin's had a tremendous year. He's one of the top rushers around. I think he's rushed for over 1,200 yards this year already with 2 games to go. So Sebring has some really nice offensive weapons, and they need to take care of business at home. I think that game could be closer than people think on paper, because, again, McDonald's a little bit younger this year, but Sebring needs to take care of business at home.
Okay. Also in the ITCL this week, Western Reserve at Mineral Ridge, and united with another tough opponent in the East Palestine Bulldogs, a playoff team from last year. Portage Trail Conference, Southeast plays host to Crestwood. This is a tough matchup for the Pirates as well. Crestwood is rolling, and their running back has set an all-time school record, and the Red Devils are a tough out.
They sure are. Southeast last 2 games, they've got Crestwood and Garrettsville Garfield. I mean, those are 2 tough teams. So Southeast is really going to have to bring it these last 2 games. But I think they've already had a great season. I mean, they're 5-3. and they've made some major strides this year. So I think they've already had a good year. I think for them, just to go out and play the best you can and see what happens these last 2 weeks.
Okay, and Waterloo plays host to Mogador. Anything you want to say about that one? That's a tough matchup.
Well, yeah, it is, because Mogador is good again. I think they're 7-1 going into this game. Waterloo's won 2 games this year, but again, we were talking about before. Mike DeVise is trying to establish his program. He's still fairly early on in his coaching career at Waterloo, and I think you have to give people time. He's a very, very good coach. Did a great job at Marlington when he was an assistant there for a number of years, and I think they just need to stay the course because they've got a good coach in that guy.
And in the North Coast League, St. Thomas plays host to Valley Christian out of Youngstown.
Yeah.
This is a game where Aquinas is probably a heavy favorite, but as you've mentioned, kind of just keeping things going because you had playoffs in 2 weeks.
Right, and the thing for St. Tom, and I don't know if they're thinking this way. Obviously, they know they're going to be a playoff team. But if I were their coach, because I believe they only have 31 or 32 kids on their roster, Rob, and they've come to a very physical schedule. This is a game I think where they can get up big early and maybe get a chance to rest some people. Looking ahead to the playoffs, Week 10, and then the playoffs. And again, I don't know if that's their thinking. That's what I would do, but that's a sports writer saying that, not a head coach. So, but I think they look good to get a big win this week.
Okay. Well, make sure you check out the Alliance Review and the review.com. We'll have previews and coverage of all those games and video. And until next week, for Mike, this is Rob. We'll talk to you then.